What's up, guys? Today is Thursday, and we are going to move on to part 2 of 10.7. All right, so just to recall real quick, part 1 was what you see on your screen here, where you guys were adding and subtracting numbers in scientific notation. You practiced that yesterday with a benchmark on IXL. So we are moving on to, we're moving on to example 2 here. All right, so same page in your textbook. It's page 450. And again, I'm including my webcam because I'm going to show you some stuff in the whiteboard today as well. All right, let's get kind of right into it. And this is going to tell us exactly what we're doing. All right, so as always, notebook, pencil, calculator you will need. But here we go. All right, to multiply or divide numbers written in scientific notation, we're going to multiply or divide the factors and the powers of 10 separately. All right, so here's what they mean by that. If we look at the second example and what they're asking us here, let's look in the middle. They're asking us to multiply, right? So let's remember these numbers right here, the 3 and the 5, for example, those are our factors, okay? And then our 10 to the negative fifth and our 10 to the negative second, they want us to multiply those separately, all right? So I want you to recall real quick just a rule. When we multiply numbers that have the same base, which would be our 10, we add the exponents. All right, so the difference today is when we multiply, we're gonna add the exponents for the tens. All right, when we added and subtracted scientific notation expressions, we didn't change the exponent for the 10. All right, we didn't change it. Today we will. All right, so when we multiply, we're going to add these exponents together. All right, so here it is. We're going to multiply these numbers. All right, and then we're going to add the exponents for the tens. And it's really as simple as that. Okay, so let's take a look at what does that look like. All right, so here we go. Here's what they do. They kind of rearrange it, okay? So they're showing you that they're multiplying the factors, all right? They're multiplying the factors here. So they rearrange it, showing that it's really 3 times 5, okay? And then they rearrange it so that the tens are next to each other, okay? So again, they're just rearranging it, showing that we're multiplying 3 times 5, and then we're multiplying 10 to the negative fifth times 10 to the negative second, okay? We go to the next page here. They then group them together. They're just showing you again that we're just multiplying separately the factors and then the tens, all right? And what do we get? 3 times 5 gives us 15. And then 10 to the negative fifth times 10 to the negative second, we add the negative 5 plus the negative 2 to get 10 to the negative second, okay? Now hopefully you kind of know what's up. This 15 is greater than 10. Can't be. All right, so what we have to do is we have to move our decimal. Now, remember our decimal right now is right here. All right, we're going to have to move that 1 unit to the left. All right, and if the same rules from the other day that I told you to write down, they still apply. Okay, where when we move our decimal left, we really are going to add 1 to this exponent. Okay, so hopefully you can guess that means if I move it left 1 and I add 1 to negative 7, that's going to leave me with this here as my final answer. Okay, 1.5 times 10 to the negative second, or to the negative sixth, I'm sorry. All right, so 1.5 times 10 to the negative 6 is our final answer there. Okay, again, let's show you another example here real quick. All right, sorry about that. And this one I'm going to do on our whiteboard back here, all right? And here's kind of a way I just like to think of it on your screen here. I'm just gonna cut these in half. And remember the fact that I'm taking 2 and multiplying by 6, all right? And then I'm doing 10 to the negative fourth times 10 to the negative third, okay? So that's what I'm gonna do back here. I'm gonna think of it as 2 times 6, okay? Really. So the factors multiplied, times 10 to the negative fourth times 10 to the negative third. Okay, 2 times 6 is going to give me 12 times. Remember, my rule is to add my exponents. Negative 4 plus negative 3, that is negative 7. Okay, now let's take into account, again, my decimal is right here currently. That's a number that's greater than 10. Got to move it left 1 unit. That would give me 1.2. And remember, I moved left, so I add 1 to negative 7, so negative 6. So here's my final answer here. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Let me get rid of this light so you can see better. Hopefully that helps a little bit. So again, there's our answer there. Okay? All right. Let's have you guys give that a try. So let's see. Up there. Right here. So what I want you to try is I actually want you to try number 4 at this time. I want you to try number 4. Okay, and number 3 I'm going to show you in a minute because it's kind of different. I could just kind of tell you actually, and you can maybe give it a shot. Guys, all you're doing in number 3, since this expression right here doesn't have a 10 to any power, you simply multiply 6 times 8. Okay, and this isn't going to change obviously because there's nothing to add to it. All right, so 6 times 8 would give you a number, and then it's going to be times 10 to the negative 5th, and then you got to rewrite it in scientific notation. So actually, why don't you could probably try that. Why don't you try both of these quick, just as a quick check. So try these at this time, pause your video, and then when you come back, answers will be there for you. Okay. All right, so we are looking at here. Our answer here is 4.8 times 10 to the negative 4th. Okay, so again, it was 48, right? But then we moved our decimal 1 left, so we add 1 to that exponent here. 7 times 3, remember we're doing 7 times 3. That gives us 2.1. I'm sorry, 21. And then we have to move that exponent once again, 1 unit to the left. We add 1 more to what would have been 10 to the 7th to get 10 to the 8th. Okay, not too hard. Division, let's look at division. It's really the same type of concept. Okay, so division, here's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to split this. I'm going to split this in half. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1.5 and divide 6. All right, and then let's remember that our rule when we divide is we actually subtract our exponents. Okay, so it ended up being negative 8 minus 7 to get our exponent for our 10. Okay, so what's that look like? Here we go. Here they kind of split it up for you just like I did a little bit. So like 1.5 divided by 6, and then the 10 to the negative 8th divided by the 10 to the 7th. What does that give us? 1.5 divided by 6 gives us 0.25. Now remember, we're going to subtract negative 8 minus 7. Okay, so that gives us a new exponent of negative 15. Okay, now let's take a look at this one. Problem is, this number is less than 1, right? So I have to take my decimal and move it 1 to the right this time. I told you guys that the rule for that is to subtract. When we move to the right, we subtract. Okay, so we're going to subtract 1 from negative 15. That's going to give us our final answer of 2.5 times 10 to the negative 16th power. Okay, so final answer is here. All right, let me show you one more, and then I'll let you guys give it a shot in your assignment today. All right, so here's one more with division. Okay, so I'm going to split this up, right? Let me do this back here for you. All right, so I'm just going to draw a line right down the middle, okay? And I'm going to know that I'm doing 5.3 divided by doing 5.3 in my calculator divided by 4, which gives me 1 point. So this one's nice because I already have the number in the right form, okay? Because 1.325, that's greater than 1 but less than 10, right? So what I'm doing here, this is a little tricky, right? What's 8 minus negative 3 really? 8 minus negative 3 is really 8 plus 3, right? That gives me 10 to the 11th power in this case. But again, this one was nice because my number was already greater than 1 and less than 10, so I can be done right away. All right, so my answer here would be 1.325 times 10 to the 11th power. Okay? All right. Now let me just very, very quickly show you one last thing, because in your IXL assignment tomorrow, it's going to ask you questions kind of like this, and you got to know them, right? So similar to number 3, look at number 5. Okay, number 5 only has 110 to a power. Okay, so simply what you do in number 5, problems like this, take 9.2 and divide 4.6. Okay, you'd get a number there. Let's just see the answers here. You'd get a number there. Yeah, 9.2 divided by 4.6 gives us 2. And then since there's no other 10 to any power, you can't do anything. You can't subtract anything with your exponent. So that just remains as is. Okay? So it is kind of as simple as that. All right, so hopefully that made sense to you guys. We're going to kind of skip example 4. It's just more division, really. So hopefully that made sense. Now you guys are going to, at this time, go to Big Ideas and complete your assignment on here for today. Now tomorrow, which will be Friday, will be another benchmark on IXL, all right, where you guys are multiplying and dividing numbers in scientific notation, okay? That will be your last grade for the quarter, all right? So remember, please get your assignments in if you have any missing assignments, okay? But again, today, at this time, you're going to go into Big Ideas and complete your assignment for today in there, all right? As always, if you have any questions, I will be in the discussion thread live, and you can email me at any time, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.